we see that he was ranked number 3 overall, top 100. He had a a near MVP season last year. Definitely improved from what he did the year before. Not to say that he played terribly, but he played a lot better than he did the year before. Got his team to the playoffs the year before, but it got to the Super Bowl this past season. Um, if not for a fumble by him, actually, it could be a totally different story right now.
Sure.
So Blaze, I want to come to you first about this one.
Hmm.
What are your expectations for Jalen Hurts going into next season?
My expectations is for him to be better than he was last season. And by that, I mean by passing the ball. I feel like they will open the offense up a little more for him. We're not going to go too much away from what we were doing last year because it works. But I feel like they're going to open the offense up for him and let him throw the ball a little more, give him more deep routes to throw to, give him more options. It's the second year continuity being there with our receiving core that I think is really going to help. And also with getting a guy like DeAndre Swift who can catch the ball out of the backfield as well, and sort of be a distraction for the defenders. I'm not going to say that I expect him to get back to the Super Bowl. Of course, that's what I want, but that's a big task to ask. As AJ said, it's very hard for a quarterback to get back the very next year, or a team for that instance to get back. That's what I would want, but I do expect him to make that leap into solidifying himself as a top four quarterback in the league.
AJ.
First things first, I need him to stay healthy. First things first. I think if you stay healthy this past year, you win MVP. I think the fact that he wasn't able to stay healthy hurt him. Ultimately, it didn't quite hurt the team. Luckily, we didn't have any other major injuries come up in his absence. We dropped a couple games, had to play him the last game of the season in order to get the number 1 seed. But the first thing he has to do is prioritize his health. He's going to run. He's going to put himself in harm's way here and there. But, like, bro, you got to stay on the field. Last 2 seasons as a starter, he has ended both seasons with some type of injury. So we need him to stay healthy. If you can stay healthy, he will be MVP this upcoming season. I expect him to be MVP this upcoming season. I just think in this offense, with this offensive line, with the weapons that we have, with now Swift and Penny in the backfield, that's going to open up even more passing lanes for him. Now you got a guy that can catch the ball out of the backfield and make plays. I definitely think that he can win MVP easily. You know, you got all the tools. All the tools are there, and he's progressing. He's progressing. But the first thing I need him to do is stay healthy. If he's healthy, the sky's the limit for what he can accomplish this year for sure. As an individual, we're gonna talk about team success later, but like as an individual player, I think he should win MVP this upcoming season. That's my early pick for MVP.
Okay, so that's not any Eagles bias. That's just how you personally feel.
Truthfully, man, like I said, if he didn't get hurt this past year, I know Joe disagreed and we debated about that. But if Jalen Hurts didn't get hurt this past year, he was going to win MVP. It was going to happen. I think he'd have had a good game against Dallas. He wouldn't have turned the ball over 4 or 5 times like Gardner Minshew did. I think he'd have found a way to beat the Saints. Really, it was the Dallas game. I think if you beat Dallas, you secured you first off, you secured the number 1 seed, but you also secured that MVP. That was the biggest game of the year at that time, up until Dallas lost the previous week. But that was still a marquee game everybody was looking forward to. And, he wasn't able to play. And it cost us in that, in that regard, as far as getting that win. But you win that game and you go out there and you ball out, you drop 35, you drop 40 points. He didn't win MVP this past year.
I agree with that.
All right. Kev, what's your expectation for Jalen Hurts next season?
Expectations for Jalen Hurts. Okay. Let's see. He had what? 3,700 passing yards, 22 touchdowns, 13 rushing touchdowns, about 700 rushing. This is the year that he eclipsed the 4,000-yard mark easily. I see him by about 45. I see him eclipsing the 30 touchdown passing mark. I feel like he's not going to run quite as much, but his runs are going to be just as effective. So his yard is not going to fall as much, but it just won't be as many carries. I think we're going to chill out. I don't know if we're going to chill out on the quarterback sneak thing because I think we're kind of glad they ain't changed that rule. But with our weapons, like they say, and the way the offense is going to evolutionize, going to get better, we're going to add to what our offense already is. And with those backs, all of our backs can catch. Now, they've been talking about in camp, even Penny, who's not known as a pass catcher, showing that he has good hands, just that Seattle didn't use him correctly, obviously, or whatever. And the fact that we have him too in as a second or third back, because he's probably not gonna start because of durability issues. But you got Kenny Gainwell coming out the backfield who can catch, who can line up at wide receiver. Then you got Swift, so that's another outlet for Hurts as an option not to run and to dump it off and to get extra 15, 20 yards without trying to get it with his leg. It's no capping the ball. But like AJ said, if you put up those type of numbers, that's an automatic MVP if you ask me. Now Mahomes had a heck of a year last year. He put up the fast. But
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. It was only a matter of time.
It's cool. I'm just saying. I don't know if Mahomes gonna be able to duplicate that high. He was going crazy yesterday with the passing yards. I feel like Hurts is gonna be right there neck and neck. So I feel like Hurts gonna be able to get the edge over him. Also, I mean, Super Bowl is a bowl condition. We can get to those later. But Hurts, when it comes to him being the top 3, top 4 quarterback, he's going to make that list again, and it's going to be solidified and factual because he's going to put up the numbers that they claim he couldn't, just like they said beforehand. But he keep increasing. He keeps getting better each year, so there's no other way but up for this guy. And there's much improvement still to be made even after the good year he had last
year. Okay. That's some lofty expectation. I mean, I would think, AJ, this is kind of sort of towards you. I would think that your expectations would be Super Bowl, seeing as though that you have Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown rate top 5.
Right. So I'm not saying that it's not Super Bowl. I'll get to team success in a second. I think, I'll touch on it. I think you have to, when it comes to MVP, after what he just did this past season, I don't think it's a lot to expect him to duplicate or be even better this upcoming season. So I seen Carl put in the chat, it's crazy to expect that. It is not crazy to expect a guy who was second team All-Pro, who was number 2 in MVP voting, who got his team to the Super Bowl, to have an MVP season. When it comes to team success, though, that's a whole nother conversation. And it's hard to get back to the Super Bowl. Last year, I made the prediction that the Eagles would at least get to the NFC Championship game. I'm like, they have the team to at least get to the NFC Championship game. At the NFC Championship game, then we'll figure out how we're going to go from there. This season, after going to the Super Bowl, it's tough, yo. Now you the hunted. You went from being a team, everybody like, okay, like, we'll see, to now everybody looking at you. And we got the hardest schedule in the league this year. So, I mean, a lot of people consider Joe Burrow top 5. A lot of people consider Jamar Chase top 5. I don't know if they're expected to be in the Super Bowl this upcoming season. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people think that Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce are the 2 best at their position, but it's them against the field. It's some people that's going to say, yeah, they're going to be back in the Super Bowl. It's some people that's going to be like, I don't expect them to get back because they just went. It's hard to get there. But it's not, I don't think it will be hard for Jalen Hurts to have a great season. I don't think that'd be difficult.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned the schedule because now we get into Now we get into
nitty-gritty. It's his third year with the same offensive coordinator. At first, he couldn't even get past 1 year. Now it's his third year, so he really about to go crazy. Right. And his childhood mentor, since he was the age of 5, is his offensive coordinator. Come on now.
Yep.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.